Meat and potatoes time. Today you're going to get a hearty help on a how-to, and it's not coming from me. It's going to come from the resources that I find useful, and hopefully you'll find them useful too. So I'm going to give you some of my top. The fact of the matter is, not everybody can get a college degree or a high school degree, and it's nothing about that, but everybody can be ambitious, motivated, and determined to make their life better. Simply go out and start reading. Read books, and if you can't read, go to Audible and they'll download them. I don't read these books. I don't have time. But I got plenty of time to listen to them on my headphones while I'm working. And everything that these guys are talking about in these books is things that you can take away. Now, what I do in this podcast is I find the best of the best material that I possibly can, and then I boil it down into the key components that contractors, excavators, entrepreneurs, landscapers can take away with them. So like when I interviewed Mike Michalowicz the other day, I think it was about 12 hours worth of books that I listened to before I talked to him and absolutely loved. But when it was all said and done, in 30 minutes, we discussed all the bullet points that were covered in those books. So check out the podcast. You can listen to that. There's plenty of resources for education out there that are going to help you improve your life, help you to accomplish anything you want. Give you what I consider to be the top self-help books, and they're probably not what you'd expect. The first book that I'm going to recommend to you is by Timothy Ferriss. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek. I absolutely love this book as a motivational, inspirational book, although it's totally unrealistic for what we do. It still helps you build the dream to accomplish more. I used Audible. I probably listened to that book at least 3 times as inspiration. That's one book to check out. Again, it's The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy. Now, this next guy has 2 books that are on the must-read list. It's The Pumpkin Plan and Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. The Pumpkin Plan teaches entrepreneurs, contractors how to refine their business process to get rid of all the fluff and to focus on what actually brings in profits. And he develops the system to help you do that in the Pumpkin Plan. And then he takes it further in his next book, Profit First, where he actually teaches you how to put a system in place, how to create the network that will actually give you profits at the end of the year. His name, again, is Mike Michalowicz. He's an incredible guy. I've interviewed him for the podcast, and you've got to go check that episode out. You won't be disappointed. One of my personal favorite books is The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. If anybody out there knows how to reach Daniel Coyle or can get a hold of him personally, kick him in the shins for me. I have tried to get a hold of this guy so many times. I would love to interview him. I'd love to pick his brain and learn more about his book. It's absolutely a phenomenal book, but he won't email me back. He won't contact me back. The Talent Code is about neurons that fire together, wire together. It's one of those books that will just open your mind to possibilities, opportunities. It's almost like a limitless experience. It's an incredible read, and I highly recommend it. You got to check out The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle and then kick him in the shins. Next on my list is a book called Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Again, it's another one of those books about human potential that you would never expect could be achieved. I would love to get this guy on the podcast and talk more about his book. If you have a chance, you got to check it out. It's one of those books that once you read it, you just won't believe what you're seeing. E-Myth by Michael Gerber is another one of those books that you should really look into. He's also got one specifically for landscape contractors. And there's a little bit of a warning that I got to give you about this book. It's a phenomenal book to teach you about systems, but it doesn't actually give you the systems. It leaves you hanging out there a little bit to dry on how to actually set up the systems, but it at least gets you familiar with the terms, systems, and how to implement them in your business. But it's up to you to actually strategically put them in place. So a good book overall, but it is lacking a little bit. It doesn't have enough meat on the bones for me. I want actual physical takeaways. I want to be able to, when I'm done with a book, go, hey, here's my strategy plan. Here's my guide. Here's the ABCs of what has to be done so I can achieve the results that they talk about in these books. Last last but not least, what do you want to hear? What is it that you would love to learn more about? Email me, stan@landscapebusinesspro.com, or put it in the comments below and I'll check it out. If I don't have an answer for you, which I probably don't, I'm going to find somebody that does have an answer, and we're going to talk to them, because the questions that you have, the things you want to know more about, all of us want to know. All of us that are entrepreneurs, excavators, dreamers, people that want to make a better life for themselves, we have the same questions you have. So tell us, ask. I need to know. Make it happen.